Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is DeAndre French, your host for 1 Hour Media. We have a new series called Industry Insiders, and I'm joined by my special guest here, Marius Mates. Marius, how are you?
Pretty good. Good to talk to you again, Andrew.
Yes. So we had a lot of time to talk about some of the flow and some of your experience. So Marius comes to us with over 20 years of experience in the project management field, and I feel that he would be a great person to share some of his industry insights in the field of project management, team leading, team building. So let's get right to it. Marius, just tell us a little bit about your background and where you started in your professional journey. How did that come about?
So, my professional journey starts, let's call it in school. So, initially, I went through doing psychology. So, did a master in clinical psychology and one in industrial psychology, and then switched tracks and went to computer science. So, it's not just a matter of collecting degrees, but actually, I was happy to be able to use those degrees in
Right.
my professional journey. So, yeah, started in software development 20 some years ago,
Mm.
starting as an analyst.
A systems analyst is a professional who examines and improves computer systems to help a business run more efficiently.
Move on as systems analyst. So, in the end, I carved a path for myself in project management in software development. And I'm going to say, looking back, it was probably one of the best decisions of my life.
Got it. And project management is like a special field. Could you explain a little bit about what exactly that is? Because I know some people in the audience may not know exactly what project management actually is. Could you break that down in layman's terms a little bit?
So if we're looking at project management, it sounds easy. It turns into a complicated deal once you
It
get into
does.
it.
Right.
So you have a project, you try to get it from the beginning to the end, make sure that it lines up. You line up all your resources correctly. You line up all the steps correctly, and in the end, you deliver a product that the client wants in time and within budget. Now, of course, nothing ever works smoothly and perfectly, but project
Never.
management is probably the
A
science
project manager is a professional who plans, organizes, and oversees projects to ensure they are completed on time, within budget, and to the required quality standards.
that is disguised as an art of making everybody work together to achieve your final goal.
Of
That would be
course.
probably my definition of project management.
Right. And that final goal is obviously the most important thing. Speaking of just final goals, like what advice would you give to the new business owner that's looking to get better at managing some of their clients' projects? Because I know a lot of time when things come in, we may not have the best process, but we're getting the job done. What are some first steps or some need to knows that we need to know to be able to deliver the best product to the client?
So I would say my very first advice would be do not overstretch yourself, especially in the beginning. Do
Right.
not promise the clients things that you don't know if you're capable of providing.
Of course.
Um, if you done your whole life, you've done roofs, do not go in and say, hey, I'll do your roof, and in addition to that, I'll do your floors. It
Yeah.
doesn't work that way. Yeah, yeah. So I understand that you might be able to take some of the experience from roofing into flooring, but realistically, it'll take you a little bit of time until you're going to be able to provide both services at the same quality. So don't overstretch. Give your client the best service that you can offer in your field. they'll be grateful for it. They'll recommend you again and again. You're going to have repeat business. And that's one thing that you want to do with your
Of
business.
course. Of course.
Don't have one, I'm going to rip this client off, I'm going to take all their money and run away. Not a good business strategy,
Right.
in any field, in any field.
Right. Are there any specific softwares or client management tools that you can recommend to the audience out there that may not know about these things? What do you guys, or what have you used in your career that really helps out?
So I'm gonna say mainly I'm using right now the software provided by Microsoft Project Manager, um, but there are a bunch of software platforms out there, and they vary. Different industries might be uh, using one more than the other. My suggestion is if you are a new startup company, take a look. Some of them offer this free trial period. Take a look, try them all, and see which one fits better with your industry, which one fits better with your company. Because there is nothing that is going to be like one size fits all. And if you
Never.
go for just because it's the cheapest or it's free, um, it it might save you some bucks in the beginning, but in long term, probably not. So be realistic how much you want to spend. These products are not extremely expensive, but you will see that they will save you a lot of hassle in long run. So do a trial, see which one works for you, go from there.
Yes, yes, and that's super important. I know for me, I've Trello is something that works well for me. Trello is a pretty much a client management software that lets you keep track of everything that you're doing, but it also allows clients to go in and check off and approve, disapprove. You can kind of hide certain things. So let's say you put in to your notes, this client is a pain. You don't want to have the client come in there and look at those notes and say, hey, what is this? So there's actually tools on that program that actually lets you hide certain things to allow that. So just be aware of that. For you, oh, I'm
But
sorry. Go.
on the same note, DeAndre, my suggestion is you do not put any notes that your client don't want to see. If you want to
Exactly.
put notes that your
Exactly.
client don't want to
Good
see, put them
advice.
on paper. Other than that, hey, you can think the client is a pain. In your notes should be this client needs special handling, more
Special
care.
handling. Yes. Yes.
Put it like this: if somehow they get to the point and they see these notes, they're gonna feel that they're important, which they are.
Right.
So, yeah. Sorry,
The,
go
cl-
ahead and
the client is always right at the end of the day. They're the ones getting
no,
that,
no,
their
no, no,
paycheck.
no, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. The client should always be respected,
Oh, that's a
which
good
is
one too.
different. Which is different. But
That's
the
a good
client
one.
is not always right. I'll give you an example. Years ago, working with a pretty sizable client, and they changed all their marketing and everything, and they came with this is our client red theme. Perfect. So we had to redesign everything to fit their new theme on their website everywhere.
Hmm.
The only problem is like this lady was like, okay, so we're gonna do this process, and when you click on the red start button, you're gonna be taken to. I'm like, wait a second, no, like
Mm.
you. I understand that your company color is red and you love this. But you cannot put red on the start button. Nobody's gonna click on it.
No, 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 no. Definitely not.
And I literally had to take and browse the web and grab a bunch of screenshots from their competitors and from other people in the field showing like the start button, it's either a white, it's either, but most of the time it's going to be a green button. So as much as we love your red client, your red color, we cannot put red everywhere. So respect your client, but they're not going to be always right. And if you show them a better way, 99% of the time, the client will appreciate you being a partner with them and not letting them make mistakes.
No, that's perfect advice not to push that red button. Never push the red button. That's I was thinking about that. I was going up the elevator. But anyway, let's jump to the next thing. What is a typical day? So let's play role play for a minute. I'm in college and I'm getting out of school and I'm interning. What is a typical day for a project lead or a project manager? What does that look like?
So probably in the beginning, if you're just getting off the school, you're first you would go to through training in your company, and again, probably right in the very first few weeks, you will be shadowing an project manager that has more expertise.
Got
And
it.
when I say shadowing, it means like take a look at him. He'll show you everything that he does, and he's probably going to give you the reasons behind what he's doing. So I'm going to say your day starts with first look at your dashboard. And by dashboard, it means what are all the things that are in work right now. And you're going to have divide your work into what is important, what is it urgent, and then make a decision. What's important, what's urgent, what are the tasks that you need to do right away, what are the tasks that can wait. And then put after you have this priority, discuss it with your team. There is nothing worse than a
That's
project
huge.
manager that it is disconnected from his team, that he just puts in their deadlines and tasks without discussing with the team if the dates are feasible, if the tasks are okay. So
Mm.
talk to your team, get their feedback, and then put your project plan together. And then again, continuously check in with your team on the progress. It doesn't have to be a long 1 hour meeting, and it can be a 10 minutes meeting, 10 minute stand up meeting where everybody just jumps in and says, hey, this is where we are, this is what the progress is, this is where we have the challenges, this is where I need help.
Right.
Um, it will actually help you constantly readjust your project plan. It will actually give you a better idea where you are, and it will let you share that progress with your client. Because nobody wants to give their requirements for a project in the beginning, have a black hole, not knowing what's happening, and then praying that at the end you will deliver your product. Instead of that, have constant meetings with your client, show them the progress, show them partially your program or your whatever the product is. So if something needs to change, it's easier to change it in the beginning stages rather than at the end when everything needs to be reworked. So keep your client up to date, keep your team up to date with what the client feedback is. That way it is a constant back and forth. It's adjustments that are not minuscule but small adjustments along the
Right.
way rather than a huge rework at the end of the project. You don't want to do that. The
That
client
ends with
doesn't want to
prayer.
do that.
Right.
It will drive up your cost, it will drive up your timelines. Everybody's going to be frustrated. Avoid that. In this business, literally communication is probably the most important thing that you can do.
Yeah, and you think about, and correct me if I'm wrong, you think about the basic definition of a project manager. You're managing probably the most important thing that's going to get your business income, which is the project. So that's a huge role. What are some qualifications, some skills that are required? Because I don't, I'm hesitant to say that anyone can just jump in and be a project manager. Are there any skills or any things that you need to have outright first?
So, if you're still in school, definitely look into project management classes.
Oh yeah.
There is also the Project Management Institute, which is the one that gives you
Oh,
accreditations in project management. There are different accreditations that you can go for. Probably the one that is the most useful, it would be the PMP, Project Management Professional. Look into that. but is nothing that says that you need to have that accreditation to work as a project manager.
Right.
Take some classes. Look, there's probably a lot of universities or colleges that will offer some classes into that, virtual or online. I think both, you can find both quality education virtual, or in class in person. Um, and try to go through this and discuss it more than just going through the class. Discuss it with people in your company, with an older project manager. Try to find a tutor. Try to find a mentor.
That's a
That's
good one.
what's the beauty of being part of the Project Management Institute. They will make it easier for you to find a mentor in your field. They will do the networking for you. They will help you. Try and talk to people who have more experience and learn from them. Um, and there's nothing to say that you cannot learn from somebody who's younger than yourself. If you're moving into project management and in your, let's say, in your 40s, but there is another project manager that it's in his 30s, but with 10 years of experience, by all means, pick his brain out and get all the good ideas. Age is not necessarily a measure of wisdom or experience.
No.
Years in the field are probably your best gauge for that. So look for somebody with experience. Look for somebody that probably worked in one or two fields, not just in one. And leave your pride at the door. Everybody has some good information that you can take. Maybe out of, let's say, 1 hour discussion, you're going to get only 10 minutes of valuable information. But focus on those 10 minutes of valuable information, because that's going to be enormously important for you going forward. And if the rest of 50 minutes you spend them just networking or just doing small talk, that's also important, because it will help you know how to talk to people, how to talk with different people in different areas in your organization. And that's also very important.
Yeah, and something you mentioned I want to touch back on is mentorship. Were you mentored around that time when you were coming up? Did you have someone that you were looking up to, or did you kind of just bang
Absolutely.
your head against the ground?
Oh, I banged my head against the walls multiple
Yeah,
times until I actually had the guts to go out and ask for mentorship.
right.
And that was, again, a very, very good idea, because um, one thing, my mentor was probably 2 or 3 levels above at my position at that time. And not only that I learned skills related to, let's say, project management in software development, but I learned from him how to see the bigger picture, because from his level, he was able to see a lot of things that I wasn't even aware of. They were not even in my radar when I was, let's say, considering how to put a project together. Because I saw the project from his prism, it was such a big, I don't know, a big eye opener for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was also where I learned that talking to the different stakeholders in a project.
A stakeholder is anyone who has an interest or investment in a project or business. For example, stakeholders can include employees, customers, or
It
investors.
is so important. Even with those that might be like, let's call them the hidden stakeholders that you don't talk every day, is not just the your client and your team, but how about other departments in your organization that are might be interested in how you solve that problem or how you documented it.
Right.
It's for me, mentorship was a very big step, and I would suggest it to everyone. It's not going to be the same for everybody. For
No.
some people, I mean, just talking to somebody in your field 10, 15 minutes a week. For other people, it's going to be 1 hour of very structured meeting. Whatever you can, grab it and use it.
Absolutely. Let's talk about trends a little bit, like latest trends, some things that you've been seeing in project management. Are there any like innovative trends, anything, any different approaches? Because you mentioned getting insight from younger people, what are some trends or
It,
some different things that you're noticing?
I'm gonna say if you want to talk just the latest trends, it would be AI. And
Oh,
bigger organizations
of
are
course,
probably either extremely excited about adopting AI or extremely worried about adopting AI.
of course.
Um, I'm gonna say that's probably one of the biggest trend. Um, all I'm saying is treat it like any other tool. Don't take it into your company and make it your, I don't know, the banner of your company. Now everything is AI in our company. You might have problems because AI from time to time is hallucinating.
Of
It'll give you the
course.
wrong answers, or with wrong information. So don't trust it 100%. But is it an useful tool? Absolutely. Any tool that you can get your hands on, first take it, test it, make sure that it fits your organization, make sure that it fits your team, and then use it and share with the other people in your, like, the AI was basically brought into my attention by my teammates. It
Right.
wasn't me. They came to me and say, "Hey, Marius, can we use this in our data analysis?" And I'm usually very skeptical of these things, but we gave it a try. We all together we looked into it, and we found out that we actually can use some of the information that the AI tools will provide.
That's awesome.
Did we choose to use all of it? No, because we got to be careful. What
Yes.
information is it that we're providing to the tool? I don't want to provide to the tool information that anybody else outside my organization should be aware of. But if I'm just want to have a very high level analysis, I can help. I can use the help of AI. The best thing about AI is not necessarily the, let's say, the data analysis, but some of the points and some of the insights that it will provide that previously are we were not even looking into it.
Right.
So gonna come with an idea that is not necessarily coming from our field, but it could be used in our field. So use it not just necessarily as a tool for analysis, but a tool for suggestions. And then
Right.
again, do your own analysis and decide, do I want to use this? I don't want to use this. Until the Skynet will take over, use it as a tool. Use it as a fantastic tool, and make your organization benefit from it.
Yeah, and if you think about it, it's like we discussed before about some of these software platforms that are client management tools. They're just tools. I obviously I'm in the marketing space, so AI helps to a degree, but you don't want to lean completely on AI either to the point where it's completely running your life and every single thought and every idea is coming from AI. So that's why I think that people that are coming from the project management field are super super important. AI can still manage projects, I'm sure it can to a degree, but there's nothing like that human touch and mentorship and education and bang your head like you said against the wall to learn these valuable skills. So let's cap this off really quick because this has been great for our first episode. What are five things that, and before I even get to the five things, it's always important to take the time to recharge. What are some things that you do to kind of take time away from project management? Because I know that can get a little bit, overwhelming. Is there anything that you do in your life that gives you an opportunity to recharge your batteries?
Well, yeah, I used to be a rugby player until my recent retirement, but
Awesome.
um, I'm gonna say any sport, and I'm gonna say team sports, at least for me, are the part that it helped me. And it's not just the sport itself, but it's also the camaraderie, and the team spirit. And you're gonna learn from being in a team sport. You're gonna
Of
learn from
course.
time to time to be a leader. Sometimes you have to be a follower. Um, and especially in rugby, that camaraderie is extremely strong. You're gonna get on the field, you're gonna tackle each other, you're gonna hit each other, and then at the end of the game, you shake each other's hand, you go for a beer, you enjoy each other's company. So
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah,
What is some, and this is the last thing. Give me, don't even, you don't have to give me five. Give me one thing that you're grateful for, because I want to end all these episodes with gratitude, because we're all privileged and blessed to have jobs and to be able to work. What is one thing that you're grateful for right now in your life?
I'm really grateful for the people that I met in my job. I met phenomenal people in my job.
Awesome.
People that above the level where I'm at, same level, under the level. I met phenomenal people. And when I say phenomenal people, I'm not referring necessarily to, let's say, their intellectual achievements, but their attitude in life, attitude
Awesome.
toward the other people, helping. And I think that's what I'm most grateful for. The people that I met and the things that they taught me. So yeah, I'm grateful for the people.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, people are great. When you meet the right people, people are great. People are great. So once again, thank you so much, Marius, for coming on episode 1 of Industry Insiders with 1 Hour Media. My name is DeAndre, your host. We have a new episode next week. You can expect this episode to come out on Friday, and what we want to do is strive. I'm going to try my best, but strive to get episodes out every single Friday. We will have Marius again, if he's willing, to come back on the show and do a little deep dive of project management, if that's something that you're interested in, where we could have a little share screen and we could break down some important topics and have a little learning time. So Marius, thank you so much for your time again. This is DeAndre French with Kreation Avenue and 1 Hour Media. I'll see you later.